What's up, YouTube? 3-Pedal J in the garage, day 2 of working on Frankenstein, trying to get him ready for this deal behind me here. The built 5.7 stroker. So yesterday I took all the turbo stuff off and ran out of time because then the family got home and there was stuff to do. So today I'm going to drain the antifreeze out of it in water. I don't even remember if I put antifreeze or water in it, but anyway, drain the water or antifreeze or both out of it, and then I'm gonna try to remove the starter and the drive shaft today. And then if I'm still feeling up to it, I'll do a little bit of work on the recently acquired MMX Ford 6.4. I got a piston in for it, so I'm gonna take the one that I have here. I can replace it and then fix that, and then I can get the part number for the rod so that I can order another piston in the rod, and then that deal will be at least a short block, a complete short block. So more to come. Thanks for tuning in.
Have some more up top, but do what we can to get as much as we can off. Let that drain and I'll work on the starter next.
Alright guys, so I just broke loose the bolts, and I thought these were 16s, but these are actually 17 mils that I got here for these top two, and then the bottom is a 15 mil. So what I'm gonna do is get this loose. Well, that one is loose already. And try to record this as much as best I can. And then I'll put the camera down and I gotta use two hands here in a minute. So I think I'm at that point now where I need two hands. I know I'm at that point. So it's just 3 bolts on the back for the manuals. On the automatics, I think there's like 1 bolt that goes through the front. I forgot, I haven't done an automatic in a while. And then year specific too. On the manuals, they're almost always on the right hand side for the starter. But you can have them on the left hand side too. I know the automatics have them on the left hand side, which is a pain because you have the steering there. Matter of fact, in the big boy Ram truck, it's on the left hand side, and it's just annoying. But yeah, I got this SFI bell housing, and it's a little bit different than the stock one. I got my stock transmission there, and as you can see, that has the aluminum housing on it, and it's just not as beefy as this bad boy here with the billet front cover and the billet gears and all the cool stuff that's inside of it that I'm still paying for. But anyway, I'll come back to you guys once I got this deal out and show you what's up. Oh, there's also a, let me see if this will show. All right, cool. So I gotta clip off some of the old tape that's hanging down there. It's just annoying. But there's also a 13 mil right here, and there's a plug that you have to unplug, which I've already done. This guy right here, that just goes into this little piece right here. This is the ground, and then that's the power. And then once you get that done, you can unbolt the crank sensor, and then I think I'll have all my wiring completely unbolted at that point, aside from the grounds that I have to take off when I take the rest of the bolts for the bell housing out. But that'll be in a later video. So stand by. Well, guys, as you can see, I got the starter out. I unplugged the sensor for the crank. I don't know if you guys can see that or not right there, but crank sensor is now unplugged right above. There it is right there. You can see the crank sensor. That's unplugged. It's this little doodad right there. Obviously, there's definitely something going on because there's a little bit of coolant that came out when I took the starter off. So I'm thinking this might have more damage than I'm aware of. And yeah, so we're gonna have to deal with that. Fun times. And this is the side that I got to get this turbo filled here off so that I can grind down the welds that I did and bring it to Mac built. And actually, like, if you guys look, you can see up in here the carbon, so it's definitely leaking. It's absolutely 100% leaking. So I'm going to try to clean that up as best I can and make it so that it spools better and runs better. So yeah, this engine it's seen better days. For sure it has seen better days. More to come. Here's a 13 right here that I was telling you about. Here's a clip that goes in it. And then normally you would have some 15 mil bolts here for all three of them, or 16. I had to change the bolts because of the SFI bell housing. So I went to Tractor Supply and got the correct thread pitch. I took one of the old bolts and brought it in and got these guys, and then this guy fits in the recess for the SFI bell housing. So that's why that's not a factory deal, but it's easy enough to fix. Obviously you got to take some trips to your hardware store, but that's to be expected when you're doing any kind of build. So again, into the trunk so that we don't lose anything. We'll cover this guy up a little bit. If all goes well, we'll have the intake in there as well. But as you can see, I start to fill up the trunk. And the way I keep everything organized, this is the right side turbo, that's the left side turbo, right side dump, left side dump. But the dumps are easy because the left side has the wideband in it, so I won't get that confused. And then I put inside the car itself in here. This is the driver's side charge tube. This is the passenger side charge tube over there. And the way I identify is I have the silicone cup that goes onto the actual outlet, the turbo outlet flange there and there, just to let me know. So it's my little silly way of staying organized, but it does work for me. I mean, obviously you guys, if you guys got a ton of room, you can do it however you want to do it. And then, I mean, it doesn't take much to figure it out, but for me, I tried to stay as organized as possible. So we've got all the easy stuff done, and while the drive shaft is only 6 bolts and it should be easy, it's just a colossal pain. It's all Loctited, and then you got these flanges, and you got to turn it, and I got to get in and out of the car. I keep saying truck because I mostly work on trucks. But Frankenstein is coming along. I'm getting further than I thought I would get, so I'm pretty happy with that. The next thing is going to be the drive shaft. I don't know if I've ever shown this or not, but I have a CCI driveline drive shaft because this is a Ford 88 rear in this. This is a Paramount custom built drive rear diff setup. It bolts into the 09 to 14 SRT 8 or M6 cars, which were manual cars with the get reg application. So it goes directly into the cradle. I didn't have to modify my cradle or anything. Comes with this little aluminum spacer to space it down for the correct angle. You get these 2 bolts. I don't know why it was done like that. I think 1 bolt would have been enough, but it is what it is. It uses all of the factory mounting. It has a solid bushing in here that goes on the top, which I had one of those in there before when I had my Get Reg in there. And then it comes with custom DSS axles. Let's see if I can show you. Here they are. Here's DSS axles. You can tell by this deal here with the bolt on and what have you. They're pretty beefy. Yeah, so that's what I have for a diff. And the gearing in it, and this particular one is a 410 gear. And my Get Reg, I had a 429 gear, so I need a little bit more gear to get off the line, being that it's a manual car, to compete with the torque ratio of the torque multiplier of the AA cars and automatic. So that helps me compete with those guys. I could go back to a 390 gear with this because the A8 does have a 390 gear set, but I may probably go to a 373 gear and this deal so that I can get way more out of fourth gear in the top end, especially when we're running more boost. But that's just going to be dependent upon how we do once we put this no motor in and see where we need to be at gearing wise. But yeah, so this is the Sonics. Let me see if I can find where it says Sonics. There it is right there. The Sonics rear housing, rear part right there. I've got the bolts out there. Allen bolts. Let me see if I can get this and show you guys. They're Allen bolts. For the rear, and it's 4 of them instead of 3 like the factory. It's one piece drive shaft up here, and then you got the Allen to hold the custom Sonics flange here to the factory I don't know, trunnion, whatever that deal is called. I hate it, but that's what we have to work with for these 14 or 09 to 14 cars. So that's what I have to deal with. I could swap the housing out, but then that would require another drive shaft. I could go to a slip yoke style, but this is already done and we're not gonna mess with it. So yeah, I'm gonna finish getting this deal out and then we'll get on the piston and call it a day. Here's something I wanted to show you guys as well. Here you can see I had to clearance my shifter linkage, my shifter rod, to work with the Sonics flange because it's higher, it comes up, it's thicker, and you can see here it was clearance a little bit, and here it kind of self-clearance a little bit as well. So it's still plenty strong because there's more than enough material, but just wanted to show you, sometimes when you get these aftermarket parts, you got to do some modifications to them. There's really no way around that. So yeah, just another thing to show you guys. But completely stock flange there, and then here is a Ford flange because that is a Ford diff, and then here is my very awesome, very cool 4-inch aluminum drive shaft by East Coast Driveline. Here is, I'm sorry, CCI Driveline. I said East Coast, but it's CCI Driveline. You can see right there. There's their number. If you guys want to use those guys, they're pretty awesome. They're good to work with. The first one that they made for me was not quite right. They made it right. All I had to do was pay for shipping back to myself. They paid for shipping back to them, and they shipped out the new one, and I just had to pay for shipping. So they were phenomenal, and I just want to shout them out. For this engine is right here, over here in Hemi Alley, as is the oil pan. Here's the oil pan for this engine. It's already got a recess on it right here for I should say a cap for if I decide to go back to running, goodness gracious, if I decide to go back to running oil-fed turbos with the scavenge pump, we're good there. So, yeah. And then here's what I was talking about. I have the piston from Mile and from MMX, and I'll probably use that one to replace this one because, as I said earlier in one of my videos, this deal didn't come with pins. So I called them up and confirmed that why didn't it come with pins, and they're like, yeah, you didn't order it with pins, you didn't specify pins. So that was 100% on me, but it's a pretty slick looking piston. I'm going to reuse the rings that are in there. I don't know what size rings this deal takes, but I'll call them up. When I order the next one, I'll ask them what it is. It says 4095. Interesting. Oh, 1.0, 1.0, 2.0. File fit rings. Cool. So that tells me exactly what it is. So thank goodness it's on there. So I'll order a ring for it, for the new one, next go round. I hope that this fits in there and I don't have to deal with boring this out. It should fit though. We're gonna find out. I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna conclude this video with with pulling that out and seeing if it fits. All right, guys. So I just pulled the bolt out. Now I'm gonna get that cap off. I don't even know if this thing has bearings or not in it, but it looks like it might have a bearing on it. It does have a bearing, and it's really good. Look at that. Still even has the coating on it. That's freaking perfect. All right, so we're gonna slide this bad boy out. That looks good. This right here may need to be polished. That definitely needs to be polished. So I'm gonna see what I can do to get to polish that up. I don't really want to go to the machine shop if I don't have to. Just kind of polish it up. I'll get some polishing compound and see what I can do to make that work. So I'm gonna rotate the crank out the way and then we'll push it out. Perfect. So all right. I'll go as far as I can with one hand on this deal, but I gotta be careful. So I don't think I've ever shown this on camera, and the problem is with one hand it's very difficult. Wow, look how much that bearing is. Oh well, there we go. It's out. So even if it's damaged, it doesn't matter because this piston is not going to get reused, and this is definitely what I thought it was, a Monar rod. See if I can get the part number off of it, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to take these rings. Look at that. Hardly any wear. So yeah, this is, look at this. Nice. These are going to get reused, guys. I don't really care what people think. These bearings, this engine had very low miles on it. So we're going to just fix it and send it. So take it over to the workbench and we're gonna get after it. Look at that. Not even, do I have this still on? Look at this. Oh, let me turn this off before I get demonetized. Wait, I'm not even monetized. Oh, little brand Nubians in the background. Probably gonna get flagged for that, but it is what it is. Look at that. Not even any material through there. That's practically new. You can see on here too, maybe a slight bit of wear right here, maybe a slight bit of wear right there, but nothing for me to worry about. So I'm going to take this deal off. What kind of pen is it? Wonderful. It's the locks that I hate, with a floating pen, but that's fine. We'll get that off, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to call Monar and see. It doesn't have a part number. Gosh darn it. I don't want to guess. I want it to be the right one. So what I found is Monar is not very far from me. I'm in Southern Maryland, and they are in mid-Virginia. Obviously, for those who don't know, Maryland and Virginia border one another. So worst case scenario, I'll bring this rod to Monar and be like, hey, I need another one. Just like it, because I can't find the part number on this deal. But I'm going to look around and see what I can find, and I think I'll be able to find what it is. It doesn't look like it's, I mean, it looks like it's just a power rod or 6/200 length rod. One Which brings me to something I want to do a comparison. Like, once I get this deal off, I want to show you guys difference between this set that I have and the other 6175 set. It's 25 thousandths of an inch difference, but I want you guys to look at it and see. So stand by. So here's where I'm at, guys. I tried to clean this up a little bit. I tried to scuff it up a little bit. This bottom one came out much better than this top one. What I did was I took this porting disc, if you will, and I hand rolled it here. And I'm going to continue to do that. I just want to clean it up as best I can, and then I'll put some polishing compound on it, and I'll polish it. I think that's going to suffice. And what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up ordering 2 sets of bearings, one for this rod and one for the next rod that I get from Monar. I'm going to get Hellcat rod bearings. I believe they're coated as well, so that should be fine. If not, then I'll order a complete set of King bearings, and I'll just re-bearing the entire thing. That may end up being the better route to go. This is going to happen over time, so I'm not really in a rush to get this motor straight. I just want to kind of get it a short block so that if anything happens to one of the other 2 motors, I have it ready to go. I don't want to have to I don't want to have to be in a bind and have to buy parts. I want to get a jump on it. So that's the plan. I think that's going to do it for this one, guys. I appreciate everybody sticking around, staying tuned. It's been kind of all over the place in the garage today. Well, guys, this is why it's always good to do a bearing check or an inspection on anything you do. So if you look at these guys, on the underside, they look amazing. Look like there's nothing wrong. But here, you can see excessive wear. So that looks like it was spinning. And then when you look inside here, looks like it might have spun in there as well. So got a decision to make. I think I can still run this rod. I need to try to polish that out. Same with this side here. But yeah, be careful too when you're taking things like this apart, because one of these guys, this one right here, flew all over the place. I got lucky and I found it, but I was expecting that my life was going to be miserable. Here's the top ring, here's the second ring, and these are the third ones. Here's up close and personal of the damage on this guy, and you can see it was pretty well mangled up. So I'm glad I decided to opt to swap that out. And then I went to take a look to see if the pins that I have would work in these, and it won't. The skirt is shorter than the DSS pistons that I ran. So when I ordered the second piston and rod, I got to make sure that I get a pen with it, or else I'm going to be in a world of hurt. So I'll probably order that this week if I don't get my motor mounts. But all very interesting stuff when you are dealing with these motors. More to come. Well, guys, I said I was going to do this real quick, and I forgot to do it, so I'm filming it now. But if you look on the right, let me do this correctly. On the right is my 6175 rod, and here is the 6200 rod. Barely noticeable, but the 6200 rod is slightly taller. Yeah, there's that, and then it's a little bit wider on this side too. But what I've just found out is I tried to put this pin in here, and I know that this is a 927 pin, and this is a 945. So that helps me figure out exactly which one to get from Monar. I know exactly which one to get now. I just got to go call them up and get their factory replacement rod for a 945 pin as opposed to a 927 pin. And let me show you real quick that I do have some 927 pins that will fit in there. Let me just grab one of these guys. Here's one from my DSS pistons, but I know that this is a 927. So this should go right into there, and it does. It fits. It's a tight fit, but it fits. This guy will not go at all. It's not even close. So that lets me know that I just got to look at, instead of like looking for a part number, I just got to look for the 6200 or the 945 rod or 940 pin, and I will have the right rod. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go on ModernRedHemi's site today and get that and order that and be ready to go. So more to come. I'm not sure if anybody cares or not, but I just wanted to share with you what all I paid for getting the block done for the 5.7. So I had the block was cleaned and the cam bearings were removed. So that was 75 bucks. I had it bored and line honed, and that ended up being 370 bucks. I had it parallel decked to get a smooth mating surface for the heads. They were pretty jacked up, so that needed to be done. And then I had new cam bearings installed. The parallel decking was 250, and the cam bearing install was 100 bucks. And then it's 40 bucks for the actual cam bearings. I could have provided the cam bearings, but it wasn't worth it to provide the cam bearings. I think I would have saved like maybe 10 bucks. So I just opted to go and have Chris take care of that for me. He's awesome. He always does it. And as always, I get my all my Hemi machine work, all my engine machine work done at Clinton. So wanted to share that with you guys and let you guys know what you would be looking at if you were to do something like this. Depending on what all needs to be done, it came out to like 848 bucks after taxes and what have you. So depending on what needs to be done, it can be anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 to just do machining. I didn't have it line board for main studs. I could have done that, but I did not because I'm not using the billets main studs. I'm using factory main studs. Hellcats use factory main studs and they make 1,000 with ease. So I didn't feel the need to do line honing like I did in the past. Just things to look out for and things to think about when you're building an engine. These are the little things that creep up that your engine builders don't tell you when they're charging you for the services that they do. They're paying nearly $1,000 off top for machining, and then they've got to assemble and check all the tolerances and all that stuff. So it can get pretty pricey. So be mindful when you're going to get a quote and you're like, that's too much. I usually say it's too much, but I just paid $1,000 nearly. I mean, I'm rounding up. I paid 850 bucks for machine work on the built 5.7. So we'll see how it works, and hopefully things will go well. More to come later. Let me take this off. I've been all over the place in the garage today, but got a lot of stuff done. Got the bad piston out, assessed what was going on, so I'm pretty happy with that. I was able to get the drive shaft out, which was a little time consuming. It's only 7 bolts, but man, are they a pain in the neck to get out, especially those Allen ones in the back. Starters out, which that was pretty straightforward and easy. Drained the radiator fluid. It's probably water and I think I have water wetter in there, maybe a little bit of antifreeze, but either way I drained that out. I got started on the intake. I didn't finish the intake, so that's why I didn't record that, but I'll probably finish the intake tomorrow and pull the passenger side head. Maybe the driver's side head if I'm feeling ambitious, but right now things are happening. Progress is being made, so I'm pretty happy with that. Yesterday we got a bit of work done too, so we're moving in the right direction. There's not a lot of time left before I need to be ready to test. I'd like to start testing in September, so I got roughly a month to get everything situated and then get it in and get it tuned, get down with Dave and figure out that's a whole nother thing of problems. My 09 to 14 PCM, well, my 11 to 14 PCM it limits boost to 14 psi, and we're trying to find a way around that before we go to fuel tech. I don't think I'm going to be able to get fuel tech done completely before this year is over, and I want to race in the Modern Street Hemi Shootout. I want to try to make it and actually go down the track and compete. I don't care if I go out in the first round. I just got to do better. The last 3 attempts I've made, there's always been an issue, so I'm trying to correct everything now. I'm not in a rush. I have little more than 70 days to get everything done. I'm pretty well in position where I can make it happen. The only real major things I need to buy are an adjustable throwout bearing, and some push rods for the 5.7. And if I decide to put the 6.4 in, then the only thing I got to buy is an oil pump. So either way, I am in good shape for the Modern Street Shootout. So with all that said, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for following. Thanks for liking. Thanks for commenting. I appreciate everybody's comments. Like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff that YouTube tells you to do that I hate asking, but I have to in order to kind of get moving forward. And rev her up, dump the clutch, grab a gear, disappear. Peace.